All right, let's talk about protein powders, supplements. A really, really popular question I get all the time from people. Should I be taking protein? If so, what type of protein should I be taking? Now, there's sort of three main types of protein on the market these days. The cheapest protein out there is what we call WPC, and that stands for whey protein concentrate. Whey protein concentrate has a combination of carbs in it and also protein. I think it's like an 80% split. So it's 80% protein, 20% carbs. The next type of protein that we tend to see people take is what we call WPI. And this stands for whey protein isolate. Now, this is a more heavily processed and formulated protein supplement where they've refined it and refined it and refined it to the point where they've taken out the carbohydrate from this source, and it is primarily protein. I think it's like only a couple percent carb and majority is protein. So it's very much protein. Then the last type of protein source we tend to see is what we call casein. Casein has a combination of carbs and protein, very similar to WPC. But with this protein, it's more of a longer, slower release of protein into the bloodstream. So they all have their benefits and they all have their cons. The benefit of WPC is it's the cheapest, okay? Because protein can get bloody expensive at times, so it's the cheapest and it does the job. The con is it, has a little bit more fat and carb in it than the other types that you can get, and a little bit less protein. The benefit of the WPI is it is the highest concentration of protein you can get. The con is it's really, really expensive, right? And is it actually worth getting a WPI? We're not bodybuilders. For the average Joe Blow, it is a little bit overkill. WPC will do the job perfectly fine. Also find that the WPI, it doesn't mix as well with milk or water than WPC. So the taste isn't as good either. And with casein, the benefit is it's a slow release. So this is a really good one to take if you train later in the day, just before sort of, sleeping or in the evening. So the theory is it's like a really slow release. So it is like drip feeding protein into the bloodstream whilst you're sleeping. So it's constantly feeding the body. This one is expensive as well and doesn't suit everyone's type of training. In terms of the negative, that's probably the negative. This one is great, I find, mixing. Like, it tastes awesome. It tastes really, really yum. Probably my most favorite out of the three. And the place where I'm looking at getting these protein sources is from a company called Bulk Nutrients. I find that they're the cheapest by far. There's no bullshit like advertising on the packets and, these big jacked guys and things like that. And they have the fastest shipping. It's all Australian made, and it's, it's like they're here in Australia, they're in Tassie. If you order today, within like 2 or 3 days, it will be on your doorstep, really, really quick and affordable. So look at Bulk Nutrients, but you'd be looking at those three protein sources, probably the WPC or the casein. WPI if you want and you can afford it, but they're all gonna do the same thing.